You already know exactly what you need to do. You've known it for weeks, maybe months, and yet here you are, still waiting for the perfect moment that never seems to arrive. This video isn't about productivity hacks or morning routines. It's about the one visible force that has quietly stolen more dreams than failure ever could. By the time this ends, you'll understand why you keep stopping yourself, and more importantly, you'll know the exact moment when everything finally changes. Most people think procrastination is a time management problem. They download apps, create color-coded calendars, and write detailed to-do lists. But nothing changes. The lists grow longer, the days blur together, and the gap between who you are and who you intended to become keeps widening. Here's the truth. Nobody wants to say out loud. You don't procrastinate because you're lazy. You procrastinate because you're afraid. And fear doesn't always announce itself. It rarely shows up as a panic or paralysis. Instead, it disguises itself as perfectionism, as research, as I'll start on Monday, as I just need a little more time to prepare. Fear is sophisticated. It knows exactly how to make inaction feel reasonable, even responsible. And the longer it goes unchallenged, the more comfortable it becomes, until waiting feels more natural than moving. The emotional battle underneath this is not about tasks or deadlines, it's about identity. Deep inside, every time you delay, there's a quiet but devastating question running in the background. What if I try and it still isn't enough? That question is the real enemy. Not the project, not the deadline, not the difficult conversation you keep avoiding. The fear of discovering your own limits is so overwhelming that doing nothing feels safer than risking that answer. Think about the last time you avoided something important. What was the story you told yourself? I need more information. The timing isn't right. I need to feel more confident first. Those stories feel logical in the moment, but logic isn't what's driving them. Fear is. And here's what makes this particularly dangerous. The longer you feed that the story, the more real it becomes. Your brain doesn't distinguish between a story you repeat and a truth you've lived. There is something fascinating about how we respond to discomfort. When the task feels too big, too uncertain, or too exposing, the human mind automatically seeks relief. And relief always points away from the thing that matters most. You'll reorganize your desk. You'll check your phone. You'll suddenly feel the urgent need to clean the kitchen. Every escape feels justified in the moment. But every escape also costs you something. You can't get back momentum. This is where most advice fails you. People are told to just push through or feel the fear and do it anyway, as if willpower were a muscle you simply flex harder. But willpower alone has never been the answer. The people who execute consistently despite fear, despite uncertainty, despite imperfect conditions are not more disciplined than you. They've simply changed their relationship with discomfort. They've stopped waiting to feel ready and started acting in order to become ready. The shift is subtle, but it changes everything. Instead of asking, do I feel confident enough to start? They ask, what is the smallest possible action I can take right now? Not the perfect action, not the complete plan, just the next step that is available to you in this moment. Because motion creates clarity in a way that thinking never can. You don't think your way into action. You act your way into a new way of thinking. Consider this. Every skill you currently have was once something you couldn't do. Every version of you that you're proud of once are terrifying to become. The confident person you want to be is not waiting on the other side of perfect conditions. They are waiting on the other side of repeated imperfect action taken despite every reason not to. Here's what the highest performers in any field understand that most people never do. Execution is not the reward you get after overcoming fear. Execution is the process through which fear loses its power. You don't defeat it before you move, you defeat it by moving. Every time you take action in the presence of fear, you send a signal to your nervous system that you are not at mercy of your emotions. That signal, repeated consistently, becomes identity. So, what separates the person who keeps waiting from the person who finally moves? It comes down to one decision made in one specific moment. The moment when everything in you says, not yet, and you do it anyway. Not because you're fearless, not because the conditions are right, but because you've decided that the cost of staying where you are is higher than the discomfort of moving forward. The decision doesn't feel dramatic. It rarely looks heroic from the outside, but inside, it is the moment everything changes. Now you understand why the waiting never ends in its own. You understand that the voice telling you to delay isn't wisdom. It's protection from a pain that may never even come. And you understand that the life you're capable of living doesn't require you to eliminate fear. It only requires you to move while it's present. So here's the only question that matters right now. What is the one thing you've been postponing that, if you did it today, would change the direction of everything? You already know what it is. You've known it this entire time. The moment is now, not Monday, not when you feel ready, now, because the version of you that you've been waiting to become has always been one decision away, and that decision has always been yours to make.